Sometimes my videos are well planned out. They have a beginning, a middle, and an end. There's some problem that I've set up that I'm trying to overcome or figure out a solution for, or a build that needs to be assembled, or products that need to be tested. Sometimes there's even a script, and a day may come when I go back to that format again, probably on Friday when I shoot tech news. But today is not that day. Today, I'm gonna get some shit done.
Excellent! Today's video is brought to you by MSI's MPG Series Z590 motherboards built for Intel 11th Gen core processors. Whether you prefer the blacked out look of the Gaming Plus, the Wi-Fi 6E support of the Edge Wi-Fi, or the extra power for overclocking provided by the Z590 Force or the Carbon Wi-Fi, every board is packed with features like 2.5 gig LAN, 20 gigabit USB 3.2, Audio Boost 5, premium VRM cooling, and of course, PCI Express Gen 4 support with supplemental PCIe power. RGB2? Yes, RGB2. Click the sponsor link in the description for more on the MPG Z590 motherboards from MSI.
Today I actually have most of the day to work on video stuff, and I actually have a bunch of projects that I could move forward with. There's my personal build, which is right here, that I need to continue setup with. There's the Spectre 2.0 that I disassembled last week, and I got as far as removing the graphics cards. I need to actually ship those graphics cards out, and if it's any indication of how much time I've had to spend working out here in the garage, this has made zero progress from where I left off last week when I shot that video. I'm also working on some system builds that use iGPUs, or the integrated graphics, so I need to sort of get those systems set up and running so I can do some testing on those. And then there's the overall work of just cleaning and organizing. And I actually started on that like 2-3 months ago, because if you guys watched my content last year, we had a big remodel done, and then we had a lot of downtime in 2020 where we couldn't make much progress. And then more recently, we've finally been making a little bit of progress. So I did a time lapse of setting up some cabinets that we have out in our main living area so we can have a little bit more storage space. And then I moved on and I was trying to do the cleanup job here in the garage, and I set up a time lapse of that, just sort of getting the work table cleared off and everything. But honestly, that didn't go very far. And I think what it boils down to for me is that just doing these projects that I have lined up, moving around the garage has become a challenge, and it's become frustrating trying to find stuff that I know is somewhere, but I don't know exactly where it is. So that's gonna be step one for today. My main work desk over here, and then the work table back here. Just gonna do a bit of cleanup, get them organized. It's spring, right? Let's do some spring cleaning. Okay, it's day 2 now. I got a lot of work done yesterday. I can't say that my garage has suddenly been transformed into, like, you know, the epitome of tightly packed, organized space or whatever, but I do have a pretty functional, usable workbench top here to work on. And then over on the main desk here, the new editing rig is up and running, and I've been doing some further setup on that. Now, a lot of the time yesterday, admittedly, was spent on continuing to break down the Spectre 2.0 PC. Apparently, I still had a lot of work to do on that, and although it was a little painful actually pulling all of the custom sleeve cables out of there and everything, the case itself is pretty much good to go for a new home, so that's good. Also managed to clean off a lot of these fittings. They've been drying overnight, and I found the boxes for the Seahawk EK RTX 2080 Ti's. So this is ideal for shipping, and now I just need to find a box to put those in. More on that in just a second. I did spend some time on the editing rig last night. Again, this rig was built purely for function over form right now, although it of course does have RGB LEDs. Did not get the Corsair iQ software installed yet, but I did get RAID Expert 2 installed, and I'm very glad because setting up this RAID array actually took overnight. In fact, I set it to go overnight. I checked it this morning at like 8:30 a.m. and it was still only at like 80%, but it's finished now. Let's go ahead and set that disk up. 10 terabyte RAID 1 Red Pros. Just a moment to format and we're ready to go. That gives me a pretty functional drive setup for the time being. I've got a 1 terabyte main SSD that Windows is installed on. Got the 2 terabyte PCIe 4.0, that's where most of my raw files are gonna go. Got a supplemental 2 terabyte SATA MX500, and then of course that 10 terabyte RAID 1 setup, so I can now start copying a bunch of stuff to that. And that was really important for me to get set up because I wanna make sure that system is fully usable before I take Riptide from its current location. And Riptide, I need to pull the FreeNAS out of the bottom. I need to transplant some of the parts from Riptide. Once that's done, I'm gonna have another really big case that I'm looking for another home for, so I'll have to figure that stuff out really soon. If the main goal for today and yesterday though was to clear some space so I have room to work and get the projects that I have sort of coming down the pipeline organized, I think I've actually made a ton of progress on that. And I think what I'm gonna do now is take some more of the parts that have recently arrived and show you those. So I'm gonna do kind of a mini unboxing because I have these boxes here and I have this stuff here, and then I should be able to use one of these boxes to pack up these graphics cards to go over to Travis. So this actually arrived a couple days ago. It's an Intel Core i5-11500 from their new 11th gen core lineup, and I got this so that I could compare it to what also arrived in the past few days, which is this CPU right here, which you could also call an APU. This is the Ryzen 5 Pro 4650G, and this one has integrated Vega graphics. This cost about $260, and you can get it on AliExpress. And since I paid a little bit extra for shipping, it actually arrived to me in about a week or a week and a half. So it wasn't like a month like you get with the basic shipping. However, it only comes with the CPU itself, so I did have to get a cooler for it. So we've got the PureRock Slim 2, which is the newer 130 watt TDP version of the PureRock Slim, which is Be Quiet's less expensive air cooler, a little bit more entry level, but I think these are usually like 35, 40 bucks. I'm gonna try to sort stuff over here. I have 2 cases here that are for 2 builds, and then I have 2 motherboards representing these test systems I'm setting up. So the B450 Tomahawk will be for the AMD system. Then I was gonna look for a B560, a B570, whatever the B series motherboard is from Intel to pair with this. I don't think it will make much difference though when it comes to the integrated graphics performance. For now though, this is the only LGA 1200 series motherboard that I actually have set up with a test bed, so that'll work. And now we have more boxes that have arrived. Here. Aha! An AMD Ryzen 7 processor. Looks like it got a little beat up in shipping, but this is a Ryzen 7 5800X, and I got this because you can't buy a Ryzen 9 5900X right now, and this is going to be the CPU for the giveaway build. Giveaway build is in the Lian Li 011 Mini, so that goes right there. Next, we're moving to some stuff that I'm not quite as sure about, so I think this is from Be Quiet, but I'm not sure what was sent to me. This might be for a pre-roll ad. Oh look, no, it's not from Be Quiet. What am I talking about? It's from Thermaltake. It's a Thermaltake air cooler. I was right that it was from a vendor and for a pre-roll ad, but it was from Thermaltake. This is the Tough Air 310, which supports up to 170 watts TDP CPUs, apparently. Single tower cooler. All right, this one I think is actually pretty exciting. Like I said, that 5800X that I just opened up is for a giveaway build. That was purchased by me, so I am footing the bill for a few of the parts there. But if you've heard me talk about this build at all, you maybe know that I'm using a bunch of EK water cooling parts, so I wanted it to be a pretty high-end system, but I also wanted to give it away. And in order to do that, I needed a graphics card that would be compatible with the GPU block that I have, and the only graphics card that I have that fits that bill is the 6800 XT or the 6900 XT. So I asked AMD Radeon team if they could help me out, and they said, you know what? We can. And while they said that they would have loved to have set me up with another 6900 XT, those are hard to come by these days, even if you're AMD's Radeon team. But they did get me a Radeon RX 6800 XT, which is no slouch at all, and which fortunately still has the same PCB layout, so I can still use it with that water block. I'm gonna wait to take this out of the box until I actually get started on that build, and I'm also gonna wait to put it over there with the 011 Mini, because I think this is also going to be a part for that build. Well, hello. N7B550 from NZXT. I told NZXT that I really wished they made an X570 version of their N7 motherboard because this board really looks beautiful. It's got this nice clean cover that goes over the entire board, and it matches really well with a lot of NZXT products, but I'm actually going to be installing it in a Lian Li case. Even though it's the 011 Mini, it actually supports ITX, micro ATX, and full-size ATX motherboards, and there's at least one other build out there that I've seen that uses this board with that flat case. Yes, with X570 you get more PCIe 4.0 support and maybe, I guess, like support for two-way crossfire or SLI configurations, but those are really kind of obsolete at this point in time. This is a very solid B550 motherboard, still great for overclocking, so I decided to make a very slight compromise by not going X570, even though this is a high-end water-cooled build, because I think this is gonna match so well with the white, black, silver, and red aesthetic that I'm going for with the whole build. So there's my motherboard, there's the graphics card. Again, this whole system's being given away once I actually get it put together. That's gonna take some time still. So here's my pile now for this build with the 011 Mini down there, the N7 B550 NZXT motherboard. We've got our 5800X, we've got our 6800 XT. We have our 64 gig DDR4 4000 kit here from Gal. I think that's gonna be beautiful, and I think the color also will look beautiful. And we have a massive stack of the Lian Li Uni fans with some SL120s and some SL140s there. There's water cooling parts for this build too. Those are over in a flight case. I'm not gonna get them all out right now because I'm totally running out of room. Next up, we have the new streaming and capture system. That's gonna be in the Silent Base 802. This one has a lot of Be Quiet parts like the Dark Power Pro 1200 watt power supply. This thing's just a beast. And of course the Dark Rock Pro TR4. This is the one that I bought because the one that they sent is installed right over there. And then of course the two test bed setups, which I will also be getting to work on really quickly. And I thought that was all the boxes I had to unbox, but then I realized I got this one too, and I'm actually not 100% sure what's in this one. Let's go ahead and pop it open and see what's inside. Okay, now I know what this is. This is special. This is special, quite special. And I'm very happy that I get to share this moment with all of you today. You guys might be aware that I work with NVIDIA. That's something that happens with some deal of regularity. Whenever NVIDIA does sampling, you know, they sometimes reach out to me and they say, hey, we have a product launching, and if you're willing to agree to an NDA, then you might be able to take a look at it and tell people what you think. Now, there is a class of product that I've never been sampled from NVIDIA. This goes all the way back to my Newegg days. When I was at Newegg, I got to play with Titan cards pretty frequently, but NVIDIA has never directly sent me a Titan card, which I don't want to complain about or anything. That's totally fine. It's not a big deal or anything. It's just something I've always been like, it would be cool to get a Titan from NVIDIA. Now, this is not a Titan, but especially in today's climate and everything, I feel like it's just as good, if not better. This is an RTX 3090. This is a Founders Edition RTX 3090. These are very difficult to find, even for people who work in the industry like me. And like I said, about 6 months or so ago, when the 30 series was launching, I asked NVIDIA if, you know, maybe they could sample me one, and they said, you know what, we're looking to sample these to people who have a little bit more experience doing the types of workloads that this is actually designed for, since it's got 24 gigabytes of GDDR6 VRAM in there. I said, okay, no problem, I understand, but maybe if there's a second round of samples or something like that, you might be able to hook me up in the future. And they said, you know what, I think we can do that for you, Paul. So I let it go for a while, and then I started following up in the past couple weeks, and lo and behold, an RTX 3090 has arrived. I've only actually held one of these once before. It is absolutely huge, triple slot card. So I just have to say a huge thank you to NVIDIA, of course, for sending this over. I will definitely be putting it to good use right away, because I think I'm going to install it in the streaming and capture system. But then I will also have this RTX 3090 to use for future testing and just crazy cryptocurrency mining, right? I'm going to mine the crap out of crypto with it. Actually, no, I'm not planning to do that. Regardless though, I am very, very happy that this has arrived, and I think now I can go ahead and pack up the 2080 Ti's and get those on their way. Quick stop at the UPS store.
Alright, you're with me, and I'm gonna fly out with some other services, alright?
Awesome.
You have a good one.
Thank you very much, you too.
Bye.
The package has been delivered. I did a Q&A video earlier this week, and someone asked what my favorite types of videos are to make. And I feel like it's actually videos kind of like this one, or just videos where I actually can get stuff done. Because I have so many projects waiting in the wings here, and actually moving forward with them feels like it can be so tedious at times. So thank you guys so much for tuning in for this video, as I have just gotten a bunch of stuff done. I feel so much better going into next week, having this space cleared out a little bit more and having the projects actually kind of in their project files a little bit more. So stay tuned for all those videos. Multiple builds coming at you really soon, as well as an epic giveaway system that's going to be water cooled with all AMD parts. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to hit the thumbs up button on your way out, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of my tech videos, and check out my store at paulshardware.net, where you can buy shirts and mugs and pint glasses and beer sets with the bamboo coasters. They're real nice. Thank you guys so much again for watching, and we'll see you all in the next video.